Police sources telling ABC News the 33-year-old actor called 911 Saturday morning to report his concern about his girlfriend.
So he called the police on himself? So there are new details hitting the wire about the Jonathan Majors story. If you don't know what happened, let's start at the beginning.
Police sources telling ABC News the 33-year-old actor called 911 Saturday morning to report his concern about his girlfriend. But when officers arrived to their apartment in Manhattan, Majors' girlfriend said he physically attacked her in the cab ride home. In a criminal complaint, the 30-year-old woman alleged Majors struck her in the face, quote, with an open hand, causing substantial pain and a laceration behind her ear, and that he, quote, put his hand on her neck, causing bruising. Majors was arrested on misdemeanor assault and harassment charges before being released.
All right, so let's look at the charges. This is the unified court system here in New York, where if you are arrested, they will put your information up here. You know, I like to go to the source. Even though the media is great, great media, but I'd rather just go to the source. And this is the source of the information. So here you see at the top, Jonathan Majors, defendant. And here is the case number, New York Criminal Court. And he is the defendant, born in 1989. Oh, pretty young. So the incident occurred March 25th, and he was arrested at 11:49, looks like a.m. on March 25th by the NYPD. Here's his attorney's information, and here's the DA's information, and they're at Criminal Court Part D. He's supposed to be back in court on May 8th, 2023 at 9 a.m. So here is his current court appearances. So he was arrested and he was arraigned, and now he has to show up on 5/8/2023 for his next appearance. Let's look at the charges. So he's been charged with 5 counts. All right, let's look at them. Class A misdemeanor, 1 count. The arrest charge at arraignment. So it's recklessly causing physical injury. That's because of the alleged slaps or whatever. The next one is the violation. Now, violation is not a crime in New York. You usually get a fine for that. It's like a parking ticket, essentially. And it is harassment in the second degree with a physical contact. That's, let's say, if you're in a fight or if you have an altercation with someone and you hit them, but you don't actually cause any physical injuries. This is the charge they give you in New York. The next one is misdemeanor, Class A misdemeanor, 1 count. This is his top charge, and this is assault with intent to cause physical injury. That's pretty self-explanatory. Then they hit him with aggravated harassment, injured a family member. So this is the domestic violence charge where, you beat up your kids or your wife or something like that. This is the domestic violence. So it's aggravated harassment, which is another Class A misdemeanor. And then he has a Class B misdemeanor, which is another arrest charge, which is attempted assault with intent to cause physical injury. So this is in case if, so you can say you have the completed crimes where they're saying he actually assaulted his girlfriend. And then you have, even if you can make the case that he didn't actually complete the assault, attempting to assault someone is also a crime. Now, yes, I just went through all the crimes that he's being charged with, but now your next question is, what's the difference? What's the difference between a Class A misdemeanor, a Class B misdemeanor, and a violation? Well, violations are not crimes. If you're convicted of a violation, you actually don't have a criminal record in New York. And violations, you can spend up to 15 days in jail. It's generally like a parking ticket. It's really, so what, right? And here he has 1 charge for the violation. They're not putting people in jail for violations in New York City. It just doesn't happen. Then you have your Class B misdemeanor, which he has 1 charge on a Class B misdemeanor. Now, the Class B misdemeanor can go up to 90 days in jail. Now, you will have a criminal record because a misdemeanor is considered a crime in New York. And the Class A misdemeanor, which is the top of the top, those misdemeanors you can get up to 1 year in prison. Now, it's not more than a year. Why? Because felonies are crimes in which you can serve more than a year in prison, and misdemeanors are, by definition, are crimes that you can spend less than a year in jail. So Class A misdemeanors, yes, he can spend up to 1 year in jail. Now, this is a very simple explanation of it because there are also fines involved and you can get probation and other things like that. But generally, you don't want A misdemeanors because that's right below a felony. B misdemeanors, you don't want that either because that's a criminal record. And violations is, again, it's just like a parking ticket. You pay a fine and you move on with your life and you get no criminal record. So this is what Majors is being charged with. I don't care what anyone else is telling you.
The actor's lawyer is fighting those allegations, claiming Majors is, quote, completely innocent, adding that they allegedly have video footage and a witness statement they are presenting to the district attorney that will clear his name.
Now, this is only speculation, but most cabs in New York City have cameras inside to see what happens because, unfortunately, people rob cab drivers. So that's why you generally see the cameras inside cabs. So I'm assuming that they have that camera footage of what happened in the back. And then number two, I'm assuming they also, on top of that, have the driver. Whoever was driving the cab, he's probably the one giving the witness statement because, again, remember, her allegations are all of this happened in the cab. So if you can prove all this didn't happen in the cab, then I think the DA doesn't have anything. So
not only does Jonathan Majors have two big movies in the theaters, Creed 3 and the Ant-Man sequel, but of course he has the Sundance-acclaimed magazine Dream, which means it's being poised for Oscar contention. Some would say this is not a good time. It's certainly not a good look.
But the fallout has already begun. The U.S. Army has pulled 2 ads featuring the star in their latest campaign.
The Army made history by overcoming the insurmountable.
A spokesperson telling ABC News, quote, while Mr. Majors is innocent until proven guilty, prudence dictates that we pull our ads until the investigation into these allegations is complete.
Now, Newsweek had this article out saying Jonathan Majors could sue his girlfriend for making these assault charges. But really think about this. Let's say he even does it. Let's say he sues her. What's he going to get? Is he going to get the millions of dollars back from the Army? Is he going to get the millions of dollars that he's getting paid by Marvel and Disney and all these other projects that he's doing? No, right? So it's like, okay, he could sue his girl. No, he's not going to sue her, unless she has billions of dollars to pay him. So maybe this is a life lesson for him. You know what I'm saying? Because this is insane. If this is all made up and this is untrue, this could really damage his career. You see what happened. And this is a easy made defamation case or tortious interference case, right? But, those allegations have to be false. So anyone saying that he could sue or should sue his girlfriend, just because you can sue doesn't mean it's prudent to sue, right? Because you're suing somebody for what? For no money? Now, it may be good, like for instance with Johnny Depp, when he sued Amber Heard because he wanted to clear his name. But I think if the DA drops the charges, I think that's enough. Suing her on top of that, I'm not sure what that gets you. But again, let me know in the comment section what you guys think.
O'Brien is smoking a cigarette. Okay.
His breakthrough role in the 2019 film The Last Black Man in San Francisco announced Majors as a force in Hollywood. But it was this year that he reached superstardom, appearing in back-to-back #1 blockbusters, Creed 3.
You don't remember me, huh?
And Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
You're an interesting man.
His character expected to be a pivotal part of the next phase of the Marvel Universe.
So let me know what you think. Do you think Jonathan Majors should sue his girlfriend? Do you think he's innocent? Do you think he's guilty? How do you feel about the charges now that you know that he's the one that called the police? And she said that he was beat her up in a cab and all this other stuff. This story is getting crazier and crazier by the moment. And now there was even some people who Jonathan Majors worked with before who was saying that he had violent tendencies. But if this story now is all made up, what happens to those people? Because they were perpetrating a fraud on the guy, right? Again, there's so much stuff going on with the story. I'm going to continue to follow it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that great YouTube stuff. And my name is Nathan Lloyd, and I will see you next time. Peace.